Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith is directed by George Lucas and stars Hayden Christensen, Ewan McGregor, Ian McDiarmid and Samuel L. Jackson. This was it. We have finally reached the final film in the Star Wars prequel trilogy. This was the movie we were all waiting for, the movie where Anakin Skywalker becomes Darth Vader. So did this movie live up to the hype surrounding it? Well, this is actually going to be an interesting discussion and review, as this is the Star Wars movie which has the largest mixed response among fans. Some people really do not like this movie, whereas others quite enjoy it. In my opinion, I think Revenge of the Sith is actually quite enjoyable. It is still not a touch on any of the movies from the original trilogy by any stretch. However, I think this movie had something going for it that made it a lot more enticing. Darth Vader. Hayden Christensen is actually bearable in this one. He doesn't give any Oscar-worthy performance, but he is most definitely better here than he was in Episode 2. Also, credit where it's due, I feel that he has always done a good job with lightsaber stunt work and action scenes, and it makes it slightly more convincible that this brat is Darth Vader. However, he still has some awful line delivery from time to time.
Liar!
No!
You're with him! You brought him here to kill me!
No!
Let her go, Anakin! Let her go! You turned her against me!
Ewan McGregor gives his best Star Wars performance in this movie too. Obi-Wan Kenobi had to deal with a lot of emotional moments throughout the movie, and I'd say Ewan McGregor did a splendid job portraying the emotion and pain that Obi-Wan is going through in the film. Also, Ewan McGregor is fantastic with the stunt work too, and you can see that come together towards the end of the film. I also want to mention Ian McDiarmid as Palpatine. I really enjoyed all of his scenes in this movie because of course we know that this guy is the Emperor, so when he's going around manipulating everyone, you know what is truly going on. He is also very convincing. Palpatine is so enticing in so many scenes, such as the circus scene with him and Anakin, where he mentions the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise, and then again when he reveals to Anakin that he is the Sith Lord. These scenes have the best dialogue in the whole prequel trilogy. However, he was not as good when it comes to the lightsaber battles. It really doesn't sell the fact that this guy is the most powerful Sith in the whole galaxy. But then again, I guess Ian McDiarmid can't help the fact that he is perhaps not able to do as much stunt work as he used to, as he's not exactly a spring chicken in this movie.
Then.
Speaking of lightsaber battles, this film has the most lightsaber battles than any other Star Wars movie, and I'd also add some of the most exciting. Ranging from the opening battle with Anakin and Obi-Wan versus Dooku, where we see the great moment where Anakin decapitates Dooku, Obi-Wan and Grievous fighting on Utapau, Yoda and the Emperor fight, which was just, the biggest Jedi versus the biggest Sith, which was a great event, and also the final fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan, which had so much raw emotion. All the fights were great in this film. That fight between our main heroes is insane. It is choreographed to a stupid level, but you cannot deny how cool that fight actually is. However, it does go on far too long, to the point where you just become bored, which shouldn't happen in action scenes. And I know exactly which part it is. It is the bit of the fight where after the big lava explosion happens and they are climbing on the falling parapet. That is the moment in the fight where you are officially bored and you just check out because it's just stuff happening on screen. However, it does lead to a great emotional moment between Obi-Wan and Anakin. Ewan McGregor gives it his all when he is showing how much he loved and appreciated Anakin as his apprentice. Though our mate Hayden is just sat there screaming in the corner, Ewan McGregor does deliver some great lines.
You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them! Bring balance to the Force, not leave it in darkness!
Shortly after, we see the moment Anakin becomes Darth Vader. I loved how it is corresponding with the birth of Luke and Leia, as it is also the birth of Darth Vader. You see how scared he is when the mask is slowly being placed on his head, but then we get the absolutely tragic line of dialogue that ruins the entire sequence and compromises all of the cool and awesome moments that were just culminating. We were finally seeing Darth Vader, and then it was ruined by this. Oh, and in case you were wondering where Padme is in this movie, well, she's just lost the will to live.
She's dying.
We don't know why. She's lost the will to live.
Episode 3 I actually think is a pretty damn entertaining movie. There are some great moments here that I didn't mention, such as Yoda and Chewbacca meeting on the planet of Kashyyyk, where all the Wookiees are from. Also seeing Anakin go to Mustafar to kill the Trade Federation guys, which was a very satisfying scene, considering I hated them in The Phantom Menace. And that scene actually made you think that, yes, this is young Darth Vader. This is the most badass villain in all the galaxy in his prime, doing what he does best. And it was really great to see that. In conclusion, I'd say Revenge of the Sith is a really fun and interesting addition to the Star Wars canon. Though there are some weak moments here that resemble the first 2 movies in the prequel trilogy, it is more than made up for by the overall theme of the movie, which finally comes to a head as we finally see Darth Vader that we know and love created in the end of this film, and it sets up everything to come in the original trilogy that we all loved and treasured so much. I give Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith a B.